on the philosophy of Find the Primary to give you the mental understanding before we go into the physical. So the science and philosophy of Find the Primary is based around the principles of chiropractic. And when we started this process 6 years ago, we were looking at what the principles of chiropractic were and actually assessing, well, how does this tie into Find the Primary? We were looking at the old text from BJ Palmer, the junior text and the senior text, and it was incredible how much what me and Tom were discussing was actually written about 120 years ago. And there's a couple of concepts there that we read online, which was, one was majors and minors, he talked about, which is essentially what we class now as primaries or secondaries. There's a major adjustment, and then there's lots of other minor ones, or major subluxation and lots of minor subluxations. And the second concept that BJ used to write about was something called shotgun adjusting. Has anyone heard of that? Yeah? Which was literally, you'd be slamming chiropractors who just say, they check the spine and go, and he say, it's basically like getting a shotgun, a spray shotgun, and saying, I'm just going to fire everywhere and hope for the best. All right? Not that specific. So when you actually look at the principles, me and Tom looked at it and was like, well, this is the first 6. But the main one for us, by the way, if you've not read that book, highly recommend that book by Ralph Stevenson. That's a must read for all chiropractors. The major one for us was Principle 7. Now, on the online material, we talk a lot about Principle 7. We had the 100%. The amount of intelligence in matter is always 100% and always proportionate to its requirements. Okay? I consider this as the requisite amount, which is what we're going to do with what's going on with someone's nervous system at this moment in time. Now, we're just going to take a minute. I want you to all write this down word for word. Just get the words on the page. The amount of intelligence in matter is always 100% and always proportionate to its requirements. Okay, doke. Right. So we're more often than not working with the human body and the nervous system. Okay, so for the purpose of this and the Find the Primary, we're going to talk about matter as the human body. Okay, intelligence. It's a word that used to scare me, and when I saw it, I was a bit like, oh. At university, it was kind of flicked over a little bit. We didn't really go into much depth about it. And when we're looking and breaking down these definitions, it's really important to understand what we're talking about. Okay, so we're going to break this down for you now, so that when we start doing Find the Primary, it's going to make sense, this definition, to why we're actually testing what we're testing. So when we look at a human body on our table, the mindset cannot be what is wrong with this person. Because according to this, there's never anything wrong. Okay? The amount of intelligence in matter is always 100% and always proportionate to its requirements. So what are the requirements of the human body right now in this environment? Well, this definition says it's always proportionate and it's working at 100%. So there's nothing wrong per se. The intelligence is at 100% and it's proportionate to its requirements. So the requirements of the human body right now is being served to the highest level that the intelligence can do. But I can't lift my leg up, or I've got a raging headache, or I've got raging sciatic pain. It's still proportionate to its requirements, but the key word is it's proportionate. It's working with what it can do. Now, a common question we get asked on this is a confusion. What about if somebody has lost a leg, or they don't have as many fingers, or their matter is somewhat not 100%? The answer to that is, the matter is complete. The amount of intelligence will always fill that matter. It's 100%. But the amount of physical matter is not where it used to be. But we're always 100% of the whole. Does that make sense? Nodding, but no. So we're going to go a step further now, and we're going to circle back to this, which is what you just said, Lema, which is the next thing. You'll learn when we do Find the Primary further on that there are 5 levels of intelligence in the human body. But for this weekend, we're just going to call it 1, which is the innate intelligence. The intelligence that lives and resides within inside of us, okay? But that intelligence organizes and regulates the human body. But it does it through the nervous system. And this is what we're going to be adjusting. So people get confused when they say chiropractors, we're adjusting innate intelligence. We're not adjusting innate intelligence. We don't interact with innate intelligence. This is the interacting platform that we communicate with. It's the nervous system. Okay, so if we're looking at it from an interaction point of view, there's us, body, nervous system, matter, and on the other side of that is the intelligence. Okay, and that's the line of communication. We are not adjusting the innate intelligence. We're not adjusting the matter. What are we adjusting? There we go. And we keep going back to that. Okay. We're always adjusting the nervous system. So this principle, it tells us and it indicates that the human body is organized in the most appropriate way and it's adapted to its environment. So whatever's happened to that human, whatever their experience is, the nervous system has adapted in the most appropriate way at that time. That's all it can do. With one thing in mind, what's the priority? Survival. Number one priority is survival. We're going to talk about in a little bit later what that looks like. But number one priority is always survival. It's above all else. When we look at all the systems we've got, the first thing that's sacrificed. So we've got the 7 systems, right? The master control system, which we know is the nervous system. We've got cardiovascular, respiratory, endocrine, reproductive, digestive, musculoskeletal. In terms of survival, first one, the brain says, which one can I sacrifice? It's not cardio, it's not respiratory. We'll talk about that later. Starting to get you thinking. This is the point where people often get confused, that this 100% thing, okay? It's the organization, the quality, and the quantity of matter that is imperfect, okay? It's not the intelligence. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Principle number 7. Matter is how much percent? 100. We just discussed that. Matter is always 100%. Intelligence is also 100%. And the last one, force is the force within the body, energy. 25%. I'm joking, it's 100. Of course it is. They're all 100. 100%, 100%, 100%. So when people walk in, why have they got symptoms like we talked about? It's because the quality, the quantity, and the organization of that matter is imperfect. So that's what the Q, and the O stands for. The quality, the quantity, and the organization. And ultimately, why is that quality, quantity, and organization imperfect? Why? Very good. Very good. Couldn't have said it better myself. So it's the adaptation to the stress in the environment.